guys, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Come back with me. I am Dian Nafisa Syaharani from English Education second semester at IPB INVADA CIREBON. Okay, now I want to tell you about my second school. I study my school at Al-Azam Islamic Boarding School in Kuningan City that I like. I study there about Islamic and modern lesson. There is hadith, tafsir, nahu, sorok, maybe balago, and for modern is like mathematics, science, Indonesian, and etc. I enjoy my study because there is many friends and I happy with them. Okay, and which subject did you find difficult? Yes, I find difficult subject that is mathematics because in mathematics so many form that must icon, and then I don't like it because it's so difficult and I don't like. But in daily life, sometimes I need mathematics because when I shopping, I must count my money for buy something, and maybe when I make for cook some bread or etc. I must know the value, but and then when we want to build some building, we must count it for good. Okay, did I enjoy my school? Yes, I so enjoy my school because in my school I have many friends from another country to make me have many experience or many history, and my school also have many unique because there is Islamic and modern subject or lesson, and we learn about many culture, about many experience here. There is a city or many sport, and we learn about the speak presentation here, and I enjoy my life in my school. Okay, number 2, I want to talk about interesting story that I have read or I hear in the news. Okay, thank you very much to let me talk about this cute car topic. The story about is fascinating story on how an 8-year-old kid saved more than 500 people from possible fatal casualty. I read this story a year ago in the daily newspaper. The story was published in the newspaper that I used to read every day at that time, and it was featured as a story of the bravery and exemplary one. An 8-year-old boy was playing with some other kid in the evening near the rail junction and suddenly noticed that part of the rail track was severely damaged. While other kids more than to their houses, this particular boy was different and he went home. Was persuaded that father that something bad to happen. He came back to rail junction with his father and took a great bill for castle and conveyance the rail officer to actually go to visit the damage. The officer were reluctant to do so and told it was a child imagination for lack of comprehension, but the boy was other man and with his father. They were able finally convince them that something terrible might happen if they do not happen from accident. When all of them saw all several damage on the rail track, it was almost the time for a passenger trail to pass his junction using this particular track. Okay, it was very evening, very few people were in the station. And the railway authority understood that repairing Helmet Railwood was impossible. That immediately informed the nearby station and forth. So the train doesn't leave that junction. Okay, in the next day, in the railway supervisor and employees visit the place and they were amazed by the bravery the boys show to save people from an uprising peril. I followed the news story and next day it made the headline of every local newspaper. As far as I remember, the boy was given many gifts by the rail authorities as well as the local administration. And the story was exemplary one to remind us how a small sacrifice and bravery can save others. The 8-year boy saw his intelligence, heroism, and from action to save people from unforeseeable and danger. And the event touch of it and railway of the day and hit on the line in his head. I did not watch TV that time, but I'm sure that was also in TV news. From the very nature of this event, we can understand that we revere the good news and we are not use the bad news only. The great courage was his belief on many that was indeed worth news. Story let the people of the world continue and real abroad. Okay, when do people like read the newspaper? Maybe all people or many people like to read newspaper when in the morning when it starts a new day. Okay, the second is how important it for people to have a choice of newspaper. In my opinion, it's so important because when we haven't there is a internet or gadget, everything about a handphone, laptop, and anything about the internet, we get or we send information with a newspaper. And newspaper also they can consult different sources of the truth and check if the news delivered in reliable or in trustworthy. And then if we have internet, now we can send or get information from the internet. Okay, the third is what does a good newspaper contain? Maybe a good newspaper content is about business, education, jobs, travels, plays, toys, restaurant. Maybe now there is a gossip about the actor or actress and maybe about job and real estate. Okay, the second is future newspaper. Okay, number one is why do some people choose to read the news or the internet rather than a newspaper? Maybe they prefer online newspaper because to save our money, and because if we buy a newspaper, it costs much to buy newspaper per month. But if we read online news, we can save our money for in the future. Okay, for number 2 is how is the internet news different from the news you read in the newspaper? Maybe in my opinion, online news refer to the online edition of newspaper that we can access the internet. One advance with online edition of newspaper is the ability of part in all short opinion posts and with replies, comment, which take time in case and real edition. Okay, for number 3, will internet news ever replace newspaper? Why or why not? In my opinion, internet news ever replace newspaper because in this era with the popularity of internet, I think newspaper or magazine will disappear. Yes, it unfortunately it's just a matter of time.